Hi, and welcome to the Art of Lisa Ledwick. I am Lisa, and in today's YouTube tutorial, we're going to be learning about eyelash primer. What is it, how do you use it, and why would you even bother? Plus, as an extra, I'm going to be completing this makeup look inspired by nature. So if you want to find out the answers to those questions and see how I achieved this look, continue watching. All right, let's begin. So I've already done my foundation or my base, and I've used the same products that I used in the previous tutorial, the only exception being that I've incorporated a little bit of the Rare Beauty blush. This is not the Rare Beauty container. This is actually a sample that I got at Sephora, and I put it in my own little container because it's very pigmented. It's actually one of the nicest cream blushes I've ever used in my life. It goes on really easily, and the pigment is very powerful. You need such a little bit, and you can easily layer and vary the intensity. I've just put a little bit on here because I've got a headpiece that I'm going to be wearing at the end that has peach colored roses, and I wanted to bring the two colors together. So I'm going to be doing one eye at a time, and I'm going to do one eye with a Dior, and I'm going to do the other eye with a L'Oreal. But before I begin, I actually want to explain to you why I use eyelash primer. A lot of people think it's a money-making scheme. I'm not convinced about that. I don't use it for every mascara, especially black. I actually use it for color mascara. And I've done a little demonstration to show you why. All right. Here are all the color mascaras that I own. And I've done it in acrylic paint actually, and then I tried the mascara on top. So the little dots here on the top of every corner, that's actually the mascara, and I was quite surprised to find out that I'd color matched the acrylic paint quite well. So on one side you have the black, and then on the other side you have the natural paper or white. So this is meant to represent eyelashes. A lot of people have black, dark brown, or brown eyelashes, so I use black paper. The white paper is meant to represent the primer. So as you can see with acrylic paint, it functions very similar to mascara. Each acrylic paint that I used, it actually gets darker when it dries. So that's the first point. All mascaras do that as well. A lot of people, when they look at a blue mascara, for example, and they take it out the tube, they go, oh, that's way too bright, and they're scared and they don't want to try it. But in actual fact, that color dries a lot darker. So that is true of all acrylic paints and of mascaras, and it doesn't really matter what background you use underneath, it will still dry darker. The other point is that there is a difference between the background. Even though it does dry a little bit darker, it'll look darker still because most of the acrylic paints and the mascaras are not 100% opaque. So if you have a darker surface to start off with, or a foundation, if you want to call it that way, then it will look darker if it's on a darker background or foundation, and it'll look lighter if it's on a lighter background or foundation. So that is the reason why I'm using primer. It's primarily for my color mascaras. And you can see over here the mascaras match so well to the acrylic paint, and they do the exact same thing. So when I was investigating primers, I was trying to look for white mascara. And I don't know if white mascara and primer are the same thing. Because to be honest, both of these primers, which I've already tried, if they dry and 100%, they're almost clear. They're not quite white. However, they do lighten my lashes slightly, so it does help. But I'm looking for a primer that actually dries to white, which I think would be quite difficult to achieve, because the same with acrylic paint, even with white acrylic paint, when it dries, you either have to add a lot of layers or you have to put on a really thick amount to get an opaque white color. So maybe in the comments you can let me know if you know if there's a difference between primer and white mascara. But so far, I'm just going to try these. So I had a look online at the reviews, and the reviews for the L'Oreal primer were really, really good. Even though you would say that L'Oreal is a drugstore or pharmacy brand, and Dior is obviously a brand name and 4 or 5 times more expensive. So I'm going to try it and I'm going to see. Okay, we're going to compare brushes. So the Dior, I like the little popping sound. The Dior brush seems to be silicone to me. No fragrance, which is excellent, and it's very, very soft. But there seems to be almost no product. There's only a little bit of product on the tip of it. I have used it before, so I do know what it's going to do, and there's always a little bit of product on the tip. However, when you look at the, doesn't make quite a nice popping sound, L'Oreal primer, it has more of a fiber brush, and I'm thinking synthetic, so a more traditional brush. Also no fragrance, which is fantastic. If any brand company is watching me today, please don't put fragrance in mascara. I don't need my eyelashes to have a perfumey scent to them. In fact, it irritates my eyes more than anything else. So even if it smells nice, I don't want makeup to have fragrance in it. That's what I buy the perfume for. Okay, rant over. So there is far more product on this. Way, way, way more product. I'm going to tell you my strategy before I begin. I had a look online and they recommended that you do not apply mascara onto dry primer. I have done that before and I agree. If the primer dries 100%, it's like putting mascara on straw. It feels very uncomfortable. The lashes clump more easily together and your lashes tend to sort of straighten and flatten out. I really don't recommend it. Okay, so I'm going to go for green. This is Shiseido, and they have 3 color mascaras. They've got purple, green, and blue. So the green is actually called Emerald Energy. And if you like color mascaras, I 100% guarantee that you will love all 3 of these. It's very difficult to find a good color mascara that works as a lengthener, volumizer, curler, all of those things. And while I don't believe that this does all of that 100%, because it doesn't, but as far as color mascaras go, it's up there. And the colors are fantastic. If you like color mascara, just go and buy all 3. You won't be disappointed. I went and I bought the purple one first, and I went back and I bought the other 2. They are great. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when it comes out. So when it comes out, it's this color green, and then I'm going to show you on the sample. You can actually see it on the wand of the mascara. The color green looks a lot brighter. So there you can see that it dries much darker. There is also a very slight metallic sheen in all 3 of these colors. It's not very noticeable, but it's slight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one eye at a time. I'm going to start with L'Oreal, and I'm going to give it a couple of seconds to dry, and then I'm going to do the Shiseido mascara. I'm just checking if you can see. Okay, so when I put mascara on, I do a side swiping motion. Sometimes it tends to take it off a little bit. So unlike the black, I floof it a little bit at the tips. And then I will do the bottom too. And I always seem to have one eyelash in the corner here that is like dead straight. I have it in both eyes and they just don't want to curl. Even if I use an eyelash curler, which by the way is going to be in the next video, so make sure that you catch that the following month. Yeah, so I try and actually stick it to the other eyelashes with the mascara. And one thing I really like about the Shiseido, once you've put it on, it actually feels like your eyes are more open and wide. And I've never had that feeling before. Once it's dried and everything, it just feels like you've had coffee. Your eyes are really open and they feel bright. It's quite nice. Like I said, it's a really good mascara. I'm actually due for another batch. Okay. So the L'Oreal primer went on really well. I think that there was enough product on the brush. It was easy to use the wand. It was comfortable. There's that one straight guy. Come on, stick to the others. And then there is a little bit more clumping because there's a second layer. Sometimes you can just take a nail and you can fix that. See, there's that guy. Ah, speak. Okay. So I'm not going to put another coat on because that would be 3 coats. Oh, I wanted to use another color here. This is the Astronomical, and it is volumizing vegan mascara, and the color is made in Italy. No, that's not the color. It doesn't have the color name on here. I just wanted to try something. Okay, so that is the mascara wand, also a very traditional wand. No smell. I don't know if this is even going to look nice. I have a feeling that it's not going to match. Oh no. But what the hang. We're just experimenting a bit today. Not doing a serious makeup look, just experimenting. Primer is actually the main goal. So this went on really well. Comfortable application, and you can see that it's true to the color. It will of course dry a little bit darker, but it looks great. Okay, so I'm going to try the Dior. This is still drying. Now remember, my primer wasn't 100% dry, and then I put the Shiseido on top, so it is still busy drying. It'll take a little bit longer to dry than normal, but we'll get there. Okay, so I'm just doing this, and I'm not going to remove any of that because I feel like that's the only, it's completely dry. The rest is completely dry. There's nothing going on my eyelashes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the tip, and I'm going to put some of that product on here, and it just feels like the wand is removing everything. I have a feeling that the silicone is too slippery and it just removes all the product that you put on, and it clings to the wand instead of actually clinging to your eyelashes. So let's try that again. The reason I'm using the green today is because I'm going for a little bit of a botanical look. Even though I've got my Halloween theme in the background, orange and green can really complement one another quite nicely. And I wanted to bring out the peaches and the pinks in my headband. I've got cute little rose earrings, and again, you can barely see my top, but I have this pretty botanical top on and a leaf necklace. That's the theme I'm going for today. Again, there's like nothing on here. I mean, the actual shape of the wand is fine. I like a traditional shape wand. The Shiseido one was more of an hourglass shape. I'm really not too particular on the wands, to be honest. See, that's a huge blob. It barely even feels like I have product on here. That's better. You really just have to use this tip. That's the only thing that works. And this was so expensive. The Dior brand is an expensive elite brand, and Dior has a special makeup line called Center Stage, and I'm actually going to be using some Center Stage eyeshadow in my Christmas video, so watch out for that. That's coming. But and that eyeshadow was really good, so I can't complain about that. But this primer, I must say, it says Maximizer 3D. How? There's like nothing on my eyeball. You have to work so hard to get it onto your eye. For if this was a cheap primer, I would be unhappy, but I'd go, okay, it's cheap. But I would expect it to be even better than the L'Oreal, because like I said, it's 3 or 4 times more expensive than the L'Oreal. And so far, the L'Oreal is kicking this guy's ass. It is just not working. I'm going to give it a couple more seconds. On this side, sometimes I do that. Let's say it's 90% dry, 95% dry. It's nearly there. Okay. And then I'm also going to be doing a lipstick, and I'm going to be adding a little bit more makeup to this look. But I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back, and then I'll introduce what I used. All right, so let's try this. Okay, the application. It does feel like it is lengthening my eyelashes a little bit more. So maybe that's the 3D effect that they're mentioning. By the way, if it appears like my eyelashes are slightly curlier, it's not because of the primer. This side is more curly. It always responds better. Eek. Okay. My eyelashes will also sink slightly as it dries. Like you can see on this side, it's almost completely dry and my eyelashes have started to sink. That's just normal for my eyelashes. So you're probably wondering, well, how come you don't curl them before you put the mascara on? I have a very good and a very long reason for that. And in fact, I'm going to make a video about that. So after this video, the next one coming up is all about curling eyelashes. And then you'll get to see what works and what doesn't. So for this tutorial, I just wanted to do the primer and see what the application of that primer was. I wasn't expecting it to curl my eyelashes. I was expecting it to emphasize the color of the mascara I bought. Okay, let's go for the Astronomical, sorry. The only complaint I have about this is it's so clumpy. Do you see all the little clumps in here? There's a lot. This is a good Christmas green, by the way. Yeah, these two greens completely clash with one another, but it's okay. You're not mad about the clumping. You can see that. Sometimes just using your nail is fine. I can actually see that clump when I look away. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to let this dry and then I'm going to finish my makeup look and we'll do the lipstick together. Hi and welcome back. So here I am. I've let my hair down a little bit. I've put on my cute Alice band with my flowers. I just DIY'd this myself. I went to a DIY shop and I bought some plastic flowers or fabric flowers, whatever you want to call them. Cut them off, hot glued them on, and there we go. Cheap, easy, quick, and a lot of fun too. And you'll see my eyes. I've done a very tiny little bat wing on the side, and I have used the Max Factor. I've used Max Factor. It's called Masterpiece High Precision Liquid Eyeliner 25 in Forest, and it's pretty much almost identical to the mascara. So sometimes I really like a monotone eye look. My eyeliner and my mascara match each other completely. And the reason is because the color does die down a little bit when it dries, and often people don't see it, strangely enough, unless the light is directly on your eyes, in your face. So the eyeliner just brings it out and it makes it a little bit more noticeable. It has got a felt tip. As you can see, I've been testing some of it out on my finger, and I just ran it through and did a little wing. I could have left it like that. That was a good look in and of itself. But then I have the Sephora eye pencil. And this is not a liquid liner like the other one. This is more of a conventional type of pencil. This is number 27, Matte Deep Green. And it's just called retractable eyeliner. And this one is waterproof. And I will say, oh, let me just add, it's got a cute little sponge at the bottom so you can spread it out a bit under your eye, wherever you want to have it. I prefer a softer look under the eye because then it's not so harsh, because sometimes those harsh lines under the eyes can age you quite a lot. But it's very sexy to have a strong defined graphic line on the top of your lid. So if I didn't have the pencil, I probably would have not had anything under here except for the mascara. You could use this for the top and the bottom, and you can create more of a smokier wing, which can look very nice. Either way is fine, it just really depends on what mood you're in. So this pencil again is pretty much exactly the same as each other and almost exactly the same as the mascara. I would really recommend the Sephora eye pencil. The Max Factor, although the application is great and the color is good, I will say that it does give off. I have found at the end of the day that sometimes I have that line stamped on my brow bone, and the reason is because when you age and you get to your 30s, it's natural for your uh, brow bone to start to sink a little bit. So this is me 10 years ago, this is me now, and sometimes a bit of that skin will touch the eyelid, especially when you look up, you're moving around all day, and then you get that line. I'm not going to be replacing these because I've got other liquid liners that don't do that. So this is unfortunately a bit of a letdown and not a rebuy, but this one is very good, and I suppose it's because it says waterproof. That's the difference. All right, so to finish the look off, we're going to be using MAC, and this is 301 A Little Tamed, and it is a matte lipstick. It's a powdered finish, what they call. There we go. It looks very red and rosy, but it goes on a little bit lighter. I suppose it has a matte finish. I will not be putting any gloss on this because it's a powdered soft matte look, and I think it's pretty pointless to put gloss on top of that. then I might as well have bought another one that was a glossy finish. However, if the mood strikes, nothing wrong with a little bit of gloss now and then, which I've done. As you know, I have the Sephora pink holographic, and yes, this time it is holographic, lip gloss, and they complement each other so well. So I have put this gloss on top of this powdered pink lipstick, and it looks really great. Okay, so there's me, and this is the finished look.
Wow.
Final thoughts. I would not recommend buying the Dior primer, waste of money. I would highly recommend buying the L'Oreal primer. I think the price is excellent for what you're getting, and it works, and it helps to bring out the color in my color mascaras. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.